I'm Boots Riley from the Coup. Support independent publishing. Support the hip hop movement. Yeah.
This is sort of well, I guess you could call it poetry.
Check it out now. We are the ones. We'll see your fate, tear down your state, go get your numbers.
Hey, what's up? I'm here with Mickey Roots from IAmHipHop magazine. I'm here with Boots Riley from the Coup at the Jazz Cafe in London. You've got the gig tonight. How are you finding the UK so far, Boots?
It's fine. It's kind of, London is, it's similar to New York to me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was going to ask if it was similar to when you do a gig in New York, when you come to do a gig in
Well, this is only our second gig in London.
Okay.
We've only been here once two years ago. And what's funny is we have more fans in, say, London than we do in certain cities in the US that we always, sell out.
Yeah.
Is it big venues, but we very rarely come. It's twice in our whole career.
Okay. Cool.
So
what are your current projects you're working on at the moment? You've got stuff going on with the Coup, obviously, but
let's see. So yeah, we're working on new Coup music. I also wrote a screenplay that's a dark comedy with magical realism and science fiction, inspired by my time as a telemarketer. It's called Sorry to Bother You. And that is actually coming out as a paperback book on the Sweeney's Quarterly. That comes out in November. Yeah.
I heard you've been doing some work with St. Vincent as well.
Yeah. We're working on some stuff. We've been sending music back and forth, and she's doing most of the heavy lifting on the music.
Okay.
And I'm writing lyrics. So so we'll see what that is. Maybe that'll be an EP. Maybe that'll be an album.
That's really cool because it's maybe a collaboration that people wouldn't necessarily expect. And I think it sounds like it's going to be quite an interesting project.
It's interesting because, I met St. Vincent in maybe 2005, 2006, and she was going to do a tour as the Coup's guitar player, so that's a lot. And then I wanted her to be in Street Sweeper Social Club, my other band with Tom Morello. She was gonna play bass in that, and that just didn't work out timing wise with releases. So we've actually known each other for a while, and she's got some stuff on her albums that we have kind of recorded.
Yeah.
Presto, read the Communist Manifesto, gorillas in the midst of Guevara and Manesco. So what a brother with an afro now. Yo, Noah flow for the Mac, and we the hoes so grow, cause the lynching brothers might get hung. Rhetoric flowing from the tip of my mouth, say tongue deficit. Money spit, catch the glint. Oh my nine, as they cut welfare, 25%. And I dissent as I clench and raise my fist. We get away with that. So you could get with this, it's a twist, cause we'll overthrow like Kwame and Kuma. Spread around the world as if it were a business rumor. Bam, cuts a record like a surgeon cuts a tumor from a brain. We're all cooped up, so feel the pain. From 400 years of exploitation, anesthesia provided by your local TV station. Patience is not a virtue. I ain't waiting. Turn it over like Bush did a boatload of hate.
Who were the influences?
Yeah. When you first
obviously, part of me, Ice Cube. It's hard for me to think back to my own self.
Of course.
Definitely Ice Cube, Public Enemy, De La Soul.
Yeah.
People that seemed like that were doing something new and interesting at the time with it. And because it's funny when people talk about Public Enemy, they talk about the politics, but they don't. Style-wise and lyric-wise, Chuck D was something that people weren't doing before and haven't done since, which was, the way he put together his lines and the reference that he used, and where he wasn't really, like a lot of times what's considered lyric is based on hitting these similes that, I'm this like that, I'm as this as that,
Yeah.
And I've done that. I've kind of been made a name for myself being able to do that sort of thing, but it's really just the basics. It's like doing flips instead of dancing. And so with some of my later songs, I've more got into just the songwriting aspect and trying to do different things creatively.
Sure, yeah.
With however I write songs.
Bet George and Bootsy never had funk like this. Catch 22 twist, no fist can dismiss this riff that I'ma go through. Maybe I could flow through this whole ordeal and I pull out the black steel and my friends make suggestions that I should squeal to the cops, but that's out of the question. If I die by the trigger of a misled brother, could he be judged by the system that has killed a billion others? I believe no, so I don't go with the flow, even though I'm about to roll with no paddle up a creek called light is lit on the situation. It's me or him, gonna decrease the population. Now we wonder why our revolution never grow. Killing other brothers just for stepping on our toe. If we had as much funk for our oppressors as we did for ourselves, the blood would never flow again. And then the Uzis that were once used to kill each other could be used to serve and protect the brothers and the sisters and the cousins or whatever others. But the funk keeps growing like a fungus.
But the stuff that inspires me are like really great poets and songwriters, like Leonard Cohen, or novelists like Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Things like that where I'm seeing people do stuff with ideas. And that inspires me, they're doing stuff with ideas and putting it into these creative, into these other forms. Well, I guess Leonard's not another form, but and also just looking at the simplicity of some of the songwriters. I even like Wilco, Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. Some of the things that he does with just the textures of words, and so I think, if I only listen to hip hop and people trying to do that, like I'm gonna make this simile or this metaphor that is going to, blow somebody away. If I just stayed listening to that, then my stuff would be dead. And the thing is that people, I think, the Coup keeps getting new fans, and not just new fans of our old stuff, but we keep getting new fans of our new stuff. And we got different groups of people that listen to our stuff, and it's because I keep looking for inspiration, and our music keeps changing because my tastes change.
Electromagnetic with a bomb aesthetic. When we ain't ready, it got no credit. Listen real close to my phonetics. The monster is awoke and I hope you fit it. If this your first time here, raise your hand. If the police come, hide the contraband. We all leave in a box in a long sedan. How you want your name read by the anchor man? We hoeing out here cause they got the chips. Like put it anywhere but not the lips. Take over, let's plot the shit.
Shake it, yeah, we agitated. Yeah, we bump and break it. Yeah, we finna take it. Hey, now we gon'
A lot of the view on it is skewed. Like, for instance, people would say Lord Finesse is definitely one of the hip-hop greats, right? His subject matter was not better than Lil Wayne's subject matter.
Yeah.
And Lil Wayne has, line for line, more similes and metaphors than Lord Finesse does.
Yes, it's true, yeah.
And it is, and it is only having to do with like some sort of cultural snobbery that is seen as more hip hop than Lil Wayne is.
Sure.
Now, you know, as a technical craftsman, I can look at Lil Wayne objectively and Lord Finesse objectively and say, Lil Wayne is better. I like Lord Finesse reminds me of a time in my life, and so I have a feeling with that. But I'm clear on that that's just a nostalgic feeling that doesn't have to do with the realities of what's going on here. And part of the reality is that with every music, every black music that has come along, and at least since the 30s, it's always said that the black music that's happening now is not as authentic, not as thoughtful, not as technically advanced as the black music that was happening 20 years before.
Yeah.
This always happens, and the reason is because whatever black folks are into now is also connected to this idea that the media puts out, which is the media's job is to put out this idea that whatever your problems are, your problem is not the economic system that you exist in. Your problem is somebody else that's probably poorer than you.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. So how do they do this? Their idea is to put out this idea that poverty is created by the impoverished. The culture that people of color are involved in right now is somehow at a deficit, and that's what's causing, you know, crime, quote unquote crime, whatever that means, violence, and you know, and various backwards ideas. Not that crime, violence, and various backwards ideas don't exist, but we got to look at the real reason why all these things exist. Real reason why there's unemployment is that capitalism must have unemployment. You cannot have capitalism with full employment. Capitalism has to have an army of reserve workers to keep the wages low for the people that are working. If your boss can't threaten you with being fired, then there's no way for him to keep your wages low, right? So there has to be a certain percentage of unemployment. It just mathematically doesn't work. And you know, some of the other proofs to that is that people like Wall Street Journal, Financial Times, things like that, they get worried when the unemployment rate goes too low. Yeah. Because they start thinking about, you know, wages going up and profits being lost. With a certain amount of unemployment, that means you have unemployed people. Unemployed people must eat, right?
Yeah, same way.
So there's going to be illegal business that happens, and all business uses violence to regulate itself. Reason why somebody can't come in here and take all, this is a legal business, I assume. The reason why people can't come in here and take the sound system and walk out with it is that they'll be met with some form of violence. Even if it's just the police saying, drop that and we're going to nicely take you to jail. There's a physical ramification that happens with it, a physical force. Business relies on violence, legal and illegal. If you're running an illegal business, you don't have the police. You make that violence with your own organization. Yeah. You know, it's fun. In the 20s when alcohol was illegal, you robbed the liquor guy and gangsters come after you. Now that alcohol is legal, you rob the liquor guy and police come after you. Yeah. Same thing in the United States. You robbed the weed guy just a few years ago, and if someone comes after you, it's going to be gangsters. You rob the weed guy now in Oakland, the police come after you. Yeah. So, here we have the setup as to why there's violence. It has nothing to do with the music that anyone's listening to, the clothes they're wearing, or anything.
I need new. I spot the mark walking in the tweed suit. I'm in his butt quicker than a kick from a grease boot. stepped slow and discreet. Could tell he was suspicious by the way he slid his feet. Didn't wanna muck up the come up, so I smiled, winked my eyes, said, hey, how's it hanging, guy? Bumped into his shoulder, but he passed with no reaction. Damn, this punk trick had hella Andrew Jacksons.
Get down, get down, get down. Get down, get down, get down. Get down, get down, get down.
My footsteps echo in the darkness, my teeth clenched tight like a fist in the cold sharp mist. I look down and I hear my stomach growling. Step to Burger King to attack it like a shouting. I never pay for things that I could get by doing dirt. Linger to the girl cashier and start to flirt. All up in her face and her breath was like murder. Damn the things I do for a free hamburger.
Well, you got my number, you gon' call me tonight?
It depends, it's them burgers attached to a price. I'm just kidding, I'ma call, even write you love letters. Thanks for the burgers, hook me up with a Dr. Pepper.
Poverty is caused by the system. Even poverty among people that are working is
Yeah.
caused by the way the system is set up. So everything is done to hide that, and that is to say, look, no, it's not that. It's the culture. They need to learn to be, nicer. Let's have programs where young people can figure out how to work out their problems without violence. Let's have programs which teach people how to be polite. Let's have all these things, right? And which just posing that as that question hides the that thing. And so the other side of that is saying, well, the culture of today's young people is terrible. So, I remember my father, for instance, did not want me to listen to BDP because the first BDP album was all the pussy is free because the crack costs money. It was all sorts of stuff. Why da da dang, why da da da. Listen to my 9mm go bang. At the same time, we know he had other ideas in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want hip hop to be made with some sort of idea about the community, you're gonna have to have a revolutionary movement, and that revolutionary movement is gonna have to deal with the actual material situations that people are going through.
Yeah.
And out of whatever material situations is where the music comes out of.
Yeah.
When people listen to Jay-Z, they're not listening. They're hearing somebody talk about having all this money and stuff. But how does that relate to them? Here is someone. How it relates to them is this. Here is someone talking about being free. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pay. You don't have to worry about bills. You don't have to worry about possibly being homeless next month.
Right.
You don't have to worry about any of these things.
Yeah.
You have the freedom to go wherever you want, this and that. So they're looking at that as a symbol of freedom. Part of that same idea that's being put forward about communities of color, which is that they're culturally savage, and this is why they're broke, and this is why they're poor, and basically the reason for that is so that the white working class doesn't question why they're poor, because then. If the cause is a certain culture, then, all they have to do is just not act like that.
Yeah. Right.
And they don't have to change anything about the system. So, that whole same thing, if you become a police officer, it's because you believe that the enemy are communities of color.
Right.
you know, because if your idea was to stop injustice or to bring justice to the world, you definitely would not be placing yourself in those communities. You'd be trying to make a revolution.
Yeah.
And so cops go in there already with an idea of who is their enemy. And so any like dress code that black folks have, that's what becomes like the gangster thing. You know, any and so that, I mean, so that's what's assumed. So like, you know, there becomes a question of how somebody looks and how somebody's dressed. But it's whatever you wear that's going to be seen in that way. I mean, there was a time when it was popular for black folks to be dressed in suits and you know, all GQ'd up. That was when suits were considered to be gangster. You know, to be so, you know, people would be seen as dressing like a gangster because they're dressing like wearing suits that black folks wear. So and Mexican folks. So, you know, the whole zoot suit thing. So yeah, what I see is just a continuation of the same thing that's been happening, and that as long as we have this system, you're gonna have police occupying the communities. And those police are gonna treat that community brutally.
Do you have a message for your UK fans that are readers of IAmHipHop that you'd like to deliver while you're here?
I'd say, you know, there's a movement growing, and it might not be perfect, but the reason that it's not perfect is because you're not in it. And if you are in it, then we need to be organized at the job. We need to be organizing at the school. We need to be organizing wherever we are. And then the message to all of you is, why aren't you here? The show's about to start.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Moose.
All right.